How many times have you said or done something out of anger, which you later, when you've calmed down, regretted doing so? So many of us deal with anger issues, but it's such a shameful emotion and not one that we're that accustomed to, that we just don't know much about it and we look at it as the enemy. But in anger, there are a lot of things that we seem to miss by not having a good relationship with our angry side. So anger is either destructive or constructive. And unfortunately, because we don't know much about our angry side, it seems to be more destructive. And we need to start learning how to make it into a constructive ally of ours by getting to know our anger, by understanding what our triggers are and how to get it in control. If you haven't been to my page before, welcome. I'm Hamasa, and on this corner of the internet, I look at mental and emotional well-being, personal development, as well as just day-to-day issues and topics. If you have any suggestions, do write them in the comments below. Please press the subscribe button and like and comment on this video. The issue with anger is that most times we kind of become hijacked by it. We just lose control. So that's why people who get angry a lot are seen as, oh, they're very volatile, they're very, eruptive, and they just have a bad temperament. So a lot of people are very shameful of admitting that they're angry. Most times people play it down as, oh, I'm just upset, I'm just disappointed, I'm not angry. But the more you bottle up your anger, the more it will come out and resurface in other ways. It could be physical pain, it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be acid reflux, it could be tension in your shoulders, it could be a whole host of things that would be affecting you because you're suppressing your anger. So we need to have a healthy relationship with it. And the problem is with it hijacking and it erupting, it's like, let's say you walk into a room and you stub your toe in the corner of the table. The first thing you do is like, oh my God, table, rah, 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 rah. You just project that anger onto whatever's angered you rather than taking it in yourself and taking responsibility and facing it and sort of digesting that emotion before letting it come out. From a recent TED talk I watched, she explained anger very well there, and it's as if letting your 4-year-old self sit in the driver's seat and drive the car. Very dangerous. That's what anger is. But at the same time, we can't take that anger, that 4-year-old, and put it in the boot of the car and pretend like it's not there. So we need to be able to learn to be an adult and sit in the driver's seat with the anger in the car as well. Balance, harmony, that's what we need to learn to do. And the first thing to do is by being mindful. So mindfulness is paying attention with kindness and curiosity. So understanding that this is what's happening, so you're making yourself aware, and also you're looking at why is it happening, what is happening, and it's okay that it's happening. Accepting it for what it is and becoming aware. So as much as mindfulness may seem like, one of those, very hippie, like, I'm so mindful and I'm so righteous and pious because I'm mindful, that's not what we're talking about here. I mean, it's important to be those things, but what I'm talking about mindfulness is just to make yourself realize and understand what is happening right now, and that you're reaching breaking point, you're reaching eruption. When you're mindful and you slow yourself down, because everything is on an adrenaline rush in your body and brain, you just bring yourself back down, you slow it down. So mindful breathing, take a couple deep breaths. 1, it brings you to the present moment, and 2, it just gives you time for your wiser brain, not just like your frontal cortex that's going crazy, but your overall logical adult brain to come back online and engage in the situation. So when you feel like you're getting very, very angry and you feel yourself boiling up, just name those emotions, be aware of them, and just be like, okay, I could feel my fist clenching, I could feel the tension in my shoulders, I feel very angry right now. Acknowledge those, because by speaking them out in your mind, you are giving them a thought, giving them a name. You are also allowing yourself to feel those things. You're becoming aware of them. So then you know what's happening, you know which way it's going, so you're back in control. Because with anger, like I said, when we erupt, we lose control. You need to be back in control. And by being mindful, taking a couple deep breaths, calming yourself down, you're giving yourself that time for your wiser, more rational brain to come online. So the other part of mindfulness, like I said, practicing kindness, being curious but doing it in a kind way, is to understand and acknowledge that, okay, I'm feeling anger. It's okay that I'm feeling anger. I'm realizing what's going on. I feel these things and that's okay, but how can I be more kinder? Like, I feel hurt. You're acknowledging that hurt, you're acknowledging the anger, but you're also thinking about, how can I be kind to myself before working myself up and doing and saying things that I know I will regret? So I need to be thoughtful and mindful of the things that I say and do. And how could I be more conscious of how this is going to make people around me feel? So the minute you're more compassionate and you're more weary and you're developing a more healthier relationship with anger, and you are becoming and dealing with it differently, you are creatively embodying anger and understanding that it's there to teach you something, it's there to bring awareness to you that you or someone around you is testing your patience and is doing something and taking liberties, and you are not happy with that. It's teaching you a lot of good things and healthy things about your boundaries when you are angry, but you are sitting in that anger and embracing that anger. You're really figuring yourself out because you're taken out of your natural habitat or your usual comfort zone. Like I said, anger is there to help you get to know yourself better. And in order to really resolve your past traumas and things that are making you angry now, is to let you feel that anger and realize what it is that is telling you. Because if you keep ignoring and bottling up that anger, it will come out in other ways until you hear that anger, you hear it out, you realize why it is or what it is that's making you so angry and triggers you the way it does. When there's a pattern or something's going on, it's some sort of trauma that you haven't faced or dealt with. And so your anger is telling you that. It's a warning sign, it's a red flag sign for you to be weary and bring attention to that trigger. So it could be incredibly helpful. It could be a great ally if you know how to use that anger in the right way. Anger seems to highlight a sort of trespassing that happens with your boundaries. So it brings attention to that. And it also inspires action. When you're really angry and you've had enough, it's when you start doing something about it. So the more we embrace that, the more we will see our traumas, we will deal with them, we'll see our triggers, we'll be able to set very healthy boundaries, and we'll be able to take action. When you're angry and you're distancing yourself from the situation and you're sitting and reflecting, you really look at, what can I do? What do I do now that I feel this way? What can I do to change feeling this way? Which is why it inspires a lot of action. And in the day and age that we live in now, and so many obstacles that we're faced with the lockdown, pandemic, and everything else that's happening with us, we will continuously be faced with things that will make us angry or throw us out of our comfort zone, that would make us erupt in certain ways. But imagine if you were in charge of your anger, if you were to embody your anger, to embrace this emotion and use it to help you, and if all of us could do that, to exercise that power wisely, to use it to grow and learn, how we'd be living. So that's why it's so important for us to understand this emotion. It's a very powerful emotion, and to try and use it as a tool in our self-growth. So the next time that you feel angry, just remember this, bring yourself back to the moment and really think, am I gonna react and then deal with the consequences later? Or am I actually gonna pause, take a deep breath, make myself aware, and see how I could use this ally this potent energy to improve myself and grow and actually deal with it and see what is bringing my attention to. So don't be ashamed of your anger, just own it and deal with it and grow with it. I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I'm quite a temperamental person myself, and this is something that I need to work on and be wary of and be conscious of, but I'm getting better because I'm aware of it and I'm consciously making an effort to try and not get angry and work myself up and understand why I get angry. And if I do, to try and control it, bite my tongue, and things that really matter to me right now where I want to react, once I sleep on it and think about it and take a couple deep breaths, by tomorrow it's kind of irrelevant. It's like, oh, why did I let that work me up so much? So a lot of times and a lot of things could just be avoided by not really letting your anger hijack you. And if it does, then look at the reasons why. Anyway, I think it's a lot to unpack, and I feel like it's not an emotion that we're that comfortable talking about or that comfortable facing, and I feel like a lot of us do need to deal with it, and including me, and it could be very, very powerful if done rightly. So if you haven't subscribed to my page, please do so that you're up to date with all my content. Please like and comment on this video. I would love to see you guys again here next week, and if you do have any suggestions for me, please do write them in the comments below. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for watching. Mwah.